starts. We can just start. We'll start with the Knicks because this is a Knicks podcast, as some people may know. The Knicks, I mean, they haven't finalized these moves, but the Knicks are whatever. They signed Dante DiVincenzo. They traded Obi Toppin for 2 second-round picks. You can feel however you feel about those things. You can tell me they didn't get enough value for Obi Toppin. You can tell me that they should have signed X player for the mid-level exception instead of Dante DiVincenzo. I will tell you that I think the things that you're talking about are kind of small potatoes as far as the Knicks are concerned. The Knicks have a good basketball team. They needed to add more shooting. They added Dante DiVincenzo, who can shoot. Is Dante DiVincenzo the perfect, ideal player they would add if they had the choice of all the talent in the NBA? No, he's not. I know he's not. And they know that he is not the final piece that makes them a contender. They know. They are aware of the things they need. They know they need a big wing. That is why they kicked the tires on Paul George. That is why they kicked the tires on OG Anunoby and will continue to kick the tires on OG Anunoby in all likelihood. It also does not mean that there's some huge fucking conspiracy and they're setting up to do 16,000 fucking jiu-jitsu moves this offseason and complete the team and turn into a contender right now. Let me tell you something. It is not fucking happening. It is not going to fucking happen this offseason unless two things happen. One of two things happens anyway. The ask for players like Paul George and OG Anunoby would need to come down to the level where the Knicks would feel comfortable, yes, acquiring said player. The other thing that would need to happen is that Paul George will need to come back down to fucking reality and take an extension actually commensurate with the amount of fucking games that he plays in nowadays, which is not many more than I do, apparently. And OG Anunoby, I want to let people in a fucking secret here. Jeremy Grant signed for 5 years, $160 million. The max extension, this is the max extension you can give OG Anunoby before he hits free agency, is 4 years, $117 million. I will chug fucking 5 shots of your liquor of choice on this podcast if he extends for that 4-117. I will, because it's not going to fucking happen. He is going to make more than that next summer. And for that reason, Masai Ujiri can kiss my fucking hairy brown ass if he comes calling and he wants, give me RJ Barrett and 3 first-round picks. Give me Emmanuel quickly. Man. Fuck you. What I'm going to give you is 2 fucking fingers, buddy. Get the fuck out. Go back to fucking Canada. Nobody likes you. That's what we're going to do, okay? Here's the other thing. You cannot cry that the Knicks have not, they've got to make a big move. They fucking want to make a big move. You can't just force the big move to happen. What do you want them to do? Go fucking give it all up for Cat? What's that doing for the Knicks? You want them to risk it all for Paul George, for him to extend for fucking 3 years, $160 million, where the fuck it is, and then he plays 40 games a year, and then you're going to cry about that too? Stop fucking crying. Like, I'm not saying they're perfect. They fucked things up. I think the Obi Toppin trade is actually an example of them owning a fuck up. They fucked up. They didn't manage that situation well. They didn't get the maximum value for an 8th overall pick that they could have or should have, or however the fuck you want to phrase it. I don't know. They're not perfect. But if on aggregate, this is the situation the Knicks are in, where they took out probably we don't want to get into this, the least important player of their 9-man rotation, at least as the franchise stands right now. And they added Dante DiVincenzo. And they are now essentially forcing Tibbs into a situation where he has to do this crazy fucking thing, which is play small for about 13 minutes a night when Julius Randle's ass is sitting on the fucking bench. Like, it's crazy to me that these are the things the same people that will cry about, oh my God, we don't have a fucking backup 4. What are we going to do without a backup 4? Oh my God, Rui Hachimura is going to destroy us. Like, These are the same people that will fucking kill Tibbs for being the most rigid fucking asshole who will never play small and never do. You can't have it both ways. You cannot have it both ways. You cannot be upset that Tibbs is a rigid motherfucker and then cry that the Knicks didn't replace the ever important 15 minutes a night that Obi Toppin was getting with another very, very important backup for like Torrey fucking Craig. Give me a break. Give me a fucking break. If the Knicks fall off a fucking cliff next year because they signed Dante DiVincenzo instead of using their mid-level exception on like Torrey Craig or Trey Lyles, that's fine. Then we'll have learned a lot more about this team than just how important apparently Obi Toppin was. But like, you can't actually explain to me what did they lose? This is not, I want to be very clear. This is not shitting on Obi Toppin, who I think is going to be really good in Indiana. That's probably the best situation for him in the league. That or Sacramento would have been the two best situations for him to go to. Look at Obi Toppin as a player. Is Obi Toppin a good defensive player? No. Is Obi Toppin a good shooter? No. Is Obi Toppin a good rebounder, especially adjusting for his position? Absolutely not. Dante DiVincenzo, whatever your qualms about him are as a player, good shooter, especially on catch and shoot. Really good rebounder for his position. Really solid defensive player. Like, I'm not telling you Dante DiVincenzo now morphs us into like, holy shit, this fucking juggernaut of a team. No. But you can't explain to me what are the discrete skills that we've become worse at as a team by subbing out Obi Toppin and bringing in Dante DiVincenzo. And the final thing I'm going to say is stop fucking crying about minutes. Stop fucking crying about minutes. There are 9 guys. If one of them gets injured, all of a sudden we're going to be playing 8 guys. You're going to be like, oh my God, everybody's playing too much. Tibbs is a psychotic. What are we going to do? Like, this happened last year. Do you want to know why Emmanuel Quickley averaged 28.9 minutes per game last year? It's not because he was playing 29 fucking minutes a night, I'll tell you that. It's because things happen. These things, I know this is crazy. There are these things, they're called injuries. And when players miss games because of injuries, other guys get to play more. That's what's going to happen this year. Jalen Brunson will miss some games. RJ Barrett will probably miss some games. Julius Randle might go fucking crazy and miss like 6 games this year or something instead of 5. Like, guys are going to miss basketball games, and you're going to need this depth. And if you're crying about having 9 fucking good, however you want to parse them, NBA players, and that is some fucking crisis for Tibbs to deal with, I don't even know what to tell you. But maybe just give up on the fucking sport of basketball. Give up on the fucking league. Don't fucking watch any of it because it's apparently beyond your understanding how a team can manage a rotation of 9 guys. But I promise you this, these will be the same people that are going to why didn't we draft somebody? Why didn't we do this? Why? You're mad we have 9 guys. You want us to draft another 2 so that we can all complain that fucking random podunk motherfucker from fucking South Jesuit State isn't playing 15 minutes a night? Like, no, enough. Like, we don't need to be upset about everything. This is like a very, very normal offseason the Knicks have had. And I'm sorry there's not a lot of big moves for them to make because you know what happens? When you're a good basketball team, getting from good to great is actually hard. And you need to be discerning and you need to be very careful about who you make those big moves for. And the fact of the matter is, this Knicks front office is telling you, they're telling you something. The fact that they kicked the tires on Paul George and kicked the tires on OG Anunoby, who we can all disagree on, is Paul George a superstar or a star? Is OG Anunoby just a great role player or a good role player or whatever it is? They think improving this roster requires shopping in a higher bracket than who you're going to get at the end of the first round, than what you're going to get at the mid-level exception at the 4th. They want a big wing. They know they need a really good big wing. That is very fucking apparent. The price has to match up with that. You cannot force that move. So that's my fucking rant. I needed to get that off my chest because I can't understand why everybody is so upset right now about the Knicks because all I see is a team that won 47-35 last year that fucking sent Donovan Mitchell's fucking loser fucking Met fan ass home, okay, after round 1 in 5 games. He can go cry the entire summer and post cool fucking videos at whatever the fuck, City Field, whatever he goes to all the time now. All right, he can have fun doing that. I don't care. We kicked his ass in round 1. They have all their future first after this. They have what? They have basically everybody in the rotation is 28 or younger. Okay, so I don't know. You're not exactly the fucking oldest team in the league here. Okay, you still got RJ Barrett. You still have Quickly. You still have Grimes. You still have Mitchell Robinson, 4 guys you drafted. Deuce McBride is still sitting there. Maybe he can make shots this year, and he makes you to make a difficult decision. You know, maybe that happens. I don't know. But all I see is a team that's in a good position that isn't willing to throw away a good position for superficial upgrades. And if you want an example of what that looks like, take a look at what Atlanta did last year, where they, oh my God, we need another creator. We need another creator. We need another creator. What did they do? They went and gave 2 first-round picks up for DeJounte Murray, and they stayed the same. Nothing changed. Getting better from good is fucking hard. It is hard. It is the hardest part. It's the hardest leap you have to make. So you have to be careful. And I'm sorry, I'm okay with the front office looking at the lay of the land, looking at a market where apparently Dylan Brooks can fucking extort a front office for $80 million after having the most disastrous clusterfuck of a season that's possibly imaginable in a contract year, and being like, you know what? This market, well, let's kick the tires on some stuff. The value's not there. We like Dante DiVincenzo. Him and Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart can all fucking sit around a campfire and tell stories about Villanova to the rest of the team. And we're good with that. And let's go into the season and let's look. They're going to be open to opportunities. Opportunities might arise. But I promise you this. I don't think anything's happening with Paul George or anything's happening with OG Anunoby until the shoe falls around whatever's going on with Damian Lillard and whatever the fuck is going on with James Harden. Because I think all that stuff is linked. You're talking about top-end players in the NBA. The market for those things are all linked. So if you want to spend the next, when does the training camp start? Fucking what? September? Some shit? Like, if you want to spend the next 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks crying and bitching and moaning that we didn't do this thing and we all fucking Josh Hart wasn't good in game fucking 5 and Emmanuel Quickly shot poorly from the field in the playoffs and RJ Barrett had a bad regular season. And if you want to spend all your time crying about this stuff, be my guest. I'm going to be happy that the Knicks seem like they have a good team. They at least maintained being a good team, and they are still poised to pounce whenever a player who actually elevates them into being a contender and that price matches up with what the Knicks are willing to give up, align. I'm willing to wait for that. If you're not, I'm sorry. Have fun being miserable this summer because I cashed in all my being miserable over the summer chips last year. I'm not doing it again. I'm not doing fucking fuck Julius for 6 months. I'm not going to do, crying over figuring out the 17 billion different machinations of a trade that could happen. Nope. I am going to be check the fuck out on all that stupid shit. But I will be here talking about the actual players on this roster that matter and what I hope for them to do and why I think this team can be good. That's it. That's all I got.
That might be a new PR for length of rant. We'll have to.
I was gonna say, man, it's been 15 minutes. Like that's surely